is Gaia B. Amman. I am a molecular biologist and an author based in Buffalo, New York, and I authored several books, including a sci-fi romance that just came out that's called Linked, and a series which I'm best known for, which is the Italian Saga, following the same characters growing up in Italy. So today I'm gonna read to you the very beginning of book 1, an Italian adventure. And although the characters in this book are really young, this book is not meant for kids. It's a book for adults, as you probably will realize. So I'm gonna start and just read a couple of minutes from an Italian adventure, chapter 1, Blame It on Nico. On that Tuesday afternoon in the April of 1987, I had no idea that I was finally about to shed some light on the mystery of sex. Indeed, adults had made it clear that sex, just like God, was a topic of the utmost importance, yet never to be discussed. Questions were received with trepidation, if not outright embarrassment, and the only answer so far was that one day everything would make sense. It didn't yet. Peo, Flavio, and I spilled out of the church with the rest of the kids. The sky was a promise of the summer to come, and the blackbirds celebrated it from the poplars and cypress surrounding the cornfields. Hoping to inhale freedom and spring, I was disappointed by the stench of the new road, a black sticky umbilical cord that connected the church to the small town of Arese. Flavio nodded toward the countryside, where the dust of a dirt path glowed in the sun. "Wanna go for a recon?" He was the tallest in our class, while I was the shortest of all the almost 9-year-olds in school, probably in all of Italy. I answered, "Why not?" and Pio nodded. He never spoke much. We always spent the afternoon playing together after catechism, which we had to endure to maintain our good standing position in Jesus' fastidious notebook of sins. I would have never suspected that I was about to add to it big time. We called ourselves the trio, but we really were the better version of the A-team. Flavio was Hannibal, poised, charming, in charge. Peo was Mr. T, muscular and gruff. Because my older sister Viola insisted in beating the hell out of me, I feared nothing, at least in daylight, which had gained me my howling Mad Marduk's name. I mussed up my hair to revive the spikiness Mom insisted in trying to tame. I hope the green eyes behind my much-hated glasses gave me the crazed look I was going for. Following the path cutting through young corn and poppies, we rounded a bend and spotted Nico, squatting on his heels by a big poplar, putting over something on the ground. What the heck? Nico the thug, as I had taken to call him in my head, had moved to our small northern town of Arese from Sicily a few months before. He was always by himself. It looked like he didn't even try to make friends. It wasn't clear to me whether his hostile attitude was cause or consequence of the troubles that he seemed to slide into constantly, every time emerging more aggressive and isolated. The aura of doom that surrounded him suited his gypsy looks, which would have been remarkable if not for the unsettling smile of the unrepentant. Nico heard us and lifted his gaze. Guys! Guys! Check this out! Nico the thug wanted to share something? What sort of incredible happening could have caused him to transcend his angry, unfriendly self? We looked at each other and Flavio stepped ahead. What? Nico picked up his treasure. It was some sort of magazine. Look! Look what I found! He held the journal up in front of his face as we approached. Our jaws dropped. It was a porn magazine. Wow! We had only seen the covers at the newsstands, big boobs and raunchy poses in plain view, leaving the contents to our imagination. Now we had one specimen available, for free, and no one would have ever known. Put that down! Flavio growled, throwing an alarmed glance over his shoulder, as if anyone could have witnessed what was happening in the deserted middle of nowhere. Nico dropped the journal back on the ground, not so much in response to Flavio's command, but to keep poring over the forbidden pages. Pio and I hunched in the dirt beside him, in awe. The little I knew about sex, came from a book on how children were made that had been passed down to me with a bunch of other youth titles, likely by mistake. Sure enough, even if I knew everything about uteri and sperm, I could have not been less prepared for the sausage fest disentangling beneath my bewildered eyes. No one said a word while, dumbstruck, we stared at the images of naked people doing the weirdest things with the most unexpected parts of their bodies. My curiosity grew tepid, then froze with the ice of a sudden realization. Wow, so our first communion is in a couple of weeks. Do we have to confess about this? Nico rolled his eyes. Such a dork. That's what you're thinking about? I retorted. At least I think, you dumb head. No, Leda, that's because you're a damn girl. His words dripped down on me like molten lead. Nobody called me Leda, ever. I was Lee. He had done it on purpose, and the anger triggered my instant transformation into my eviler self, Mr. Hyde. Not like I had read the story, but it sounded so cool. Go to hell, Nico, I snarled as I jumped at him. Flavio caught me in mid-air without much effort. He was easily twice my size. Peo glared at Nico, who had ignored me and was hiding the magazine in a tree hollow. Flavio put me down, keeping a hand on my shoulder. Nico said, sauntering away, "You owe me one, kids." I simmered in my resentment, but could only follow him and my friends back to the church. It was not my fault that I was born a girl. I had wanted to be a boy named Alessandro, not a girl named Leda. Because boys pee standing wherever they want. Because boys play with robots and video games instead of stupid dolls. Because boys don't have to wear freaking skirts and dresses. Because boys climb trees and ride bikes and play soccer. Because boys grow into firemen and jet pilots, not housewives. Because Dad wanted a boy. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on www.GaiaBamman.com and keep in touch. It was a pleasure meeting you. Bye-bye.